Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Blissful Living Podcast. I'm Rochel Marie Lawson, the Queen of Feeling Fabulous, and it is my pleasure, my honor to be here with all of you today. I have a great show in store for you today, and if you like the show, please subscribe to the show so you get advance notification of the show. Also, share the show with everyone you love and care about. We focus on wellness, wisdom, and wealth. Me, I say we and all my other personalities because you never know which one's going to come out. But but I focus on wellness, wisdom, and wealth. And it is to help you to enlighten your way on your path to bliss so that you can not only have the life of your dreams, but you can actually really live the life of your dreams wholeheartedly, unapologetically. I like to say bold and unstoppable with all of that. So I like to say before we get the show started is find a place to sit, grab something to write with, get your favorite beverage, and tell your family to give you a few moments so that you can just absorb the information and capture the nuggets of gold that the guest is going to be sharing with you today. And while you're doing that, I am going to take care of some business. So I want to thank our first sponsor, Blissful Living for You at Blissful Living, the number four, the letter U.com. They have a lot of wonderful things going on, and you definitely want to check them out, particularly as we begin to go into the change of seasons. There's some programs that they have that might help you to enhance how you feel, energy, how you ebb and flow through life as we do this change of season stuff, particularly with the eclipse and all the wonderful things that the universe has in store for us. In addition, they've got some new things going on, like the Bold Unstoppable show and the Bold Unstoppable Women's community. So you definitely want to check them out and allow the essence that they have to share with you to enhance and up-level every area of your life. You can check them out at www.blissfulliving, the number four, the letter U.com. And then the next sponsor I want to thank is All Day Cable Incorporated. All Day Cable Incorporated is located in the heart of Silicon Valley. It is a woman-owned, minority-owned telecommunications installation company, actually the first in the Western region of the United States, actually in the whole United States. And what they focus on is installation of voice, data, fiber optic cabling, and all your network distribution needs so that when you go to connect with your customer or someone on that other end, you are able to make that connection no matter what type of technology you are using today the first time. They have been in business for over 33 years and have survived every economy that we've ever had. So they get 5-star ratings from their customers, and they are known as a premier telecommunications installation company. So if you're a small, mid-sized, or large corporation and you have a need for a premier company that provides premier services to you, then you want to check out alldaykableInc.com at alldaykableInc.com. All righty. So now that I've taken care of business, you should have had time to find a place to sit. Got something to write with. Got your favorite beverage. I'm happy. I'm drinking tea today. I usually drink tea all the time, but especially when I'm doing the show to keep my vocal cords lubricated and moisturized so that I can articulate. And yeah, I'm on one today, you guys. So just bear with me. But let me tell you about my guest. So today's show is called, or the topic of our show is the radical shift from work ethic to worth ethic. Ooh, y'all in for some store for some goodness today. So my guest is Kevani Castell, and she is a beacon of vibrant rebellion and unapologetic authenticity. Already my girl, just that alone. Fueled by passionate spirit, she stands in solidarity with visionary creators, culture makers, and impact entrepreneurs now, embracing her unique expertise from over 2 decades in strategic marketing and advertising, and now a certified holistic coach and certified business coach. Kevani specializes in distilling swirling ideals, untangling confusion, I love that, and pioneering progress through a potent blend of thoughtfully tailored business coaching incisive marketing consultation, and heartfelt collaborative support. Her co creative spirit breathes life into ambitious dreams, forging the pathway towards thriving businesses. With skill and grace, she weaves a captivating dance between creativity, commerce, strategic planning, and I'm sure there's a lot more. Her mission is clear: to support her clients in cultivating mindful and thriving businesses that radiate with the energy, catalyze collective growth, and bravery challenges and bravely challenge the norms of entrepreneurship. So I want all of you, as well as myself, to welcome Kevani to the Blissful Living Podcast. Hey, Kevani, how are you doing?
I am great. Thank you so much, Rochelle. That was lovely to hear all of that. And like, yes, that is what I'm all about. Like, let's get that energy up. Let's challenge some norms. Let's shake up the status quo.
Girl, you are a bold, unstoppable chick, but also a badass. I can already tell. And so, I'm just saying. So hopefully y'all ready for these nuggets of gold, because Kevani's gonna drop some stuff on you that I guarantee is gonna make you be like, maybe what? Let me what? So okay, I just want to jump right in. So I love the radical shift from work ethic to worth ethics. I love, love, love that. Can you unfold the concept of worth ethics for us and share why it's a game changer in today's relentless work culture?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so passionate about this shift. I really feel it's something that can move us all forward in a way. And like all the things that you say about your show, about shifting into that bliss and enjoying the life we're here to lead. So for me, this concept of worth ethic, it's such a powerful alternative. Like I think of it as an antidote to this obsession that we have in our culture of determining our worth based on our work and our output. I'm sure we're all of that generation where we were raised that like, as long as you have a strong work ethic, if you work hard enough, you can have success, and all of these things that just simply aren't true. And maybe they were true in our parents' generation, but like it's just not the way we're wanting to live now. And so I think of worth ethic as like this inner compass that we all have that's guiding us towards like a flourishing, sustainable life. Like it's that voice that calls to us, that wants us to align our actions with our values and our passions and our well-being, like so that we can have the impact that we're all here to make. Like there's lots of strong, powerful women I know listening to this show, and we want to have an impact, but we want to have it without burning out. And we want to be able to live that life that like resonates with what really matters, like to us individually, because at the end of the day, we're worth that. And this is what we're here to talk about. And I had this growing, nagging feeling for such a long time that business does not have to be the grind that we're told it needs to be, that we have to sacrifice ourselves on this altar of business growth and success. And I've been trying to figure out how to bring that forward and talk about this way of doing business in a way that feels good. And I heard the beautiful affirmation music by Toni Jones. I don't know if you're familiar with her work. She's incredible. She has incredible affirmation music, and one of her songs is called Worth Ethic. And in that, like hearing that anthem, I was like, yes, these are the words. These are the things that like finally sum up all of these points I've been trying to bring together, and had this vocabulary that we can like bring forward and shake up the business world with.
Love what you're saying, and I love how you opened up saying, that may have been like how our parents were supposed to, was believed. And I'm sure they were told that, get a job and, stay in that job and, and then you can be successful. Well, we all know that that's kind of changed. You know, I definitely was told, go to school, get a good education, and then get that job and stay in that job for 20 years or until it's time for you to retire. And then you can just have this beautiful life. And in reality, today's reality, that's not real.
Mhm.
You know, that's not true. You don't have to no longer stay in a job, that first job or whatever, stay there and, you know, retire from it and then still be broke after you retired. And then you're like, how did I stay in this job for so long? I didn't even like it, you know. But listening to my
Mhm.
parents, you know, it's all about, I think right now, it's all about shaking up the past norms because they are no longer relevant in today's society. And you just said that. I mean, they're no
Mhm.
longer relevant. And just because you have a job and you stay in that job for such a long time, it doesn't mean that it's your worth. It doesn't
Mhm.
mean that it's what you wanted to do. It may be something you were subconsciously programmed to do. And of course, rebels like you and I, that like we badass, bold, unstoppable chicks. So we're like, oh, I ain't staying in no job. Are you kidding me? I want to do this and I'm gonna make it work. And so I think that's what a lot of, particularly women, need to hear and understand that you can do whatever you want to do and you can be successful. And if it's worth it to you to do it, then do it because that is really your true calling. And that's what I hear you say in what you just shared. I want to ask you now this, in a world that often measures our value by our output, and that's in everything, whether you're a business entrepreneur, a career professional, or you're an athlete, you're always measured by how much your output is, and that determines your value, right? So, how does worth ethic redefine success for us bold, unstoppable women and those men that are along with us?
Mhm. Yeah, and this is the thing that I'm just so excited about people stepping into, and I can offer some like redefinitions of success, but really it's about each person going inside and figuring out what is success for you, like what is actually going to feel good for you. And really what we're trying to do is like open up. Society has this very narrow definition of success, particularly when it comes to business. Like we're all familiar with the economic charts, you know, like the growth chart, like zigzagging off the top of the like never ending um,
Paper, yeah.
goal that it has to always be growing. And that's the only time that we are told that we are successful, if we're continuing to grow in that economic way. But what we're looking to do is shift from this like relentless hard work as the only success indicator and bring in self-worth and bring in well-being, our own well-being, as equally important key indicators. And really it's this like bringing together of the personal and the professional metrics that lets us have a whole picture of our lives. Because really, for me, if it's costing well being or costing alignment with values, that's not true success. That's too high a price to pay for me.
Right.
And really, like, I talk a lot more about thriving being the goal rather than growth being the goal, because in thriving we can feel good. We are flourishing. Like it's all coming together, and that's what we're aiming for, not having success at the cost of something else.
You know, again, you made another key point of thriving versus growing. Um, you can grow. We see it all the time, and you not be thriving. You can grow and be really unhealthy inside, mind, body, spirit, right? But when you're thriving, you're ebbing and flowing with the goodness that is resonating within you. And you generally are healthy in mind, body, and spirit. And I think that's a huge negative goal that you guys should take away. We just got a whole huge like on that because I think society sees growing as you being successful and you're thriving. But I know so many people that have grown to astronomical levels, but they're not thriving. They're actually dying inside because they've manifested some kind of illness or disease, or they're actually dying, even
Mhm.
though their companies are growing. And we've seen that. We've seen that. So I love how you say that, because I think it's really important for us to understand the difference and really begin to absorb the essence of that difference between growing and thriving. You know, when you're in a company and your chart is going up, 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 and then you have a moment where you have a hiccup and you go down a bit. Oh my gosh, you're looked upon as a failure, even though you may have been growing up, up, up for the last 20 years. You had one quarter that dropped and you're looked upon as a failure, even though the company is still making money that you're working for. That can have a detrimental effect on, you know, your physical, mental, and emotional well-being, because now you got in your mind that I'm a failure, but you're
Mhm.
still not a failure. So I love, love, love what you say about this. Now, with regards to redefining worth ethic, who is this really for? And, you know, when I'm asking this question with regards to who is this really for, is this for the entrepreneur? Is this for the
Mhm.
career professional? Or is it for that person that's just a stay-at-home mom and has like a little side hustle just to bring in extra cash?
Mhm. Well, really, like, this is for everyone, like all humans. We're all inherently worthy. So we all have this built-in inner guidance system, no matter how disconnected we may have become from it. We all have the ability to come back to ourselves and think about our own values. And I find that, to me, what signals this like desire to follow our worth ethic, is if you're starting to notice whatever situation you just named off, a few different situations, whatever of those we find ourselves in, if we're starting to sense this like underlying, I think it was like a friction, like a resistance, like resentment that's happening, often that's a signal that we're out of alignment with something. We are going against our values in order to, like, say, continue to grow our business. Maybe we're not um, present as we want to be with our families and our loved ones because we're so dedicated to our work. Like, there's something that's out of balance and out of alignment. And really, this is the call to come back. Our worth ethic is the thing that will guide us back into alignment. So as I talk through these topics, I do often find that my work resonates the most with female business owners.
Mhm.
Like, we are those ones where there's been so many societal messages piled on us through growing up. We've been in this, like, we've been told to like lean in and, you know, spread ourselves thin and do all the things. And burnout's become this sort of like just accepted part of having a business, which is just so sad to me. And so I find that there are a lot of female business owners that are still connected to their intuition. It's still in there, like lighting that fire and like creating that friction and being like, this isn't how it's supposed to be. This isn't what we were going for. Like, you know,
How can I break from this? Yeah.
like, we're trying to build this dream life, but we're not enjoying the dream because it's not in alignment. And so, like, it's those women that I find, like, once they hear this message, it's already in there and it comes back and it's like, yeah, actually, I'm worth it. I'm worth making those different choices. Like, this is where I need to be going instead.
You know, I love that. When you have those women that you're working with, and particularly, you know, the women entrepreneurs, because I don't know how old you are, but when I was growing up, there was a commercial and it was for a perfume called Anjali, which probably is not even on the market anymore, probably full of toxins, right? But the commercial was, I could bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, and never, ever, 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 ever let you forget you a man. Now, okay, that it was like when I was a kid, I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, she can cook and she can work and she can, you know, have the man of her dreams, right? But in essence, it's a message that is not the right message for women. And young girls, because it puts a lot of pressure, as you said, on you to be able to do everything. And we strive to do that. And then we're feeling empty and depleted inside, and we don't understand why. And I think it really comes down to what you're saying is your worth ethic. It really taps into that. And I just love this conversation because it's tapping into some aspects of conversation that we need to have more of in today's society, because you don't need to do everything to feel valuable. Take it from me. I did that. I was building my business, I was making sure my kids, I was the type of mom, I had a business, I had kids. And as I was growing up, I started cooking at a young age. So I cooked every meal for my kids, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They had home cooked meals. Now I'm a good cook, but I felt that I had to do that and still maintain my business and everything else that I was involved in and be there for my kids. And the pressure does get kind of tenuous, right? Now, my kids are thoughtful and thankful that I was able to cook all those meals for them but at times I would be in the car working on my computer while they were at basketball or dance or whatever they were doing, just to make sure that I got my work done, because I felt that my value, or what people saw as my value, was what I did with my work. And that's not necessarily true. And so those pressures we put upon us are not necessarily ours, and they don't make us have that worth ethic that we really desire to have deep inside. So this is such a yummy conversation. Now, can you share a pivotal moment or story where
Mhm.
embracing work ethic profoundly changed your outlook or the method and how you do an ebb and flow in business?
Yeah, there's so many, because it's a series of like small shifts that create the big shifts, right? Um, I would say that one of the biggest ones, and it didn't just happen overnight, but it was a few years after my second child was born, and I was probably much like you, like running everywhere, doing all the things. At that time I was working as a VP in a creative advertising agency, so I had people relying on me there, and I had small children relying on me at home, and like all the things going on. And I felt like I kind of like slowly emerged out of this daze and like looked around at my life, and I was like, oh, like I'm ticking all the boxes. I'm ticking all the boxes. This is supposed to feel good. This is supposed to be what we all want, right? And I realized that like it wasn't it it wasn't everything I wanted. There was aspects and I loved it, and like there was things, but I'd lost some of that passion and engagement for life. And it took me quite a bit of sort of like feeling into that and searching and self-discovery to really come to the realization that it's okay to want more, and I'm worth shaking up what is good to go after what could be really great. And that can often feel very scary. It definitely felt scary and really daunting for me to start taking actions to dismantle some of this success that I had. And I'm doing the air quotes around that because it wasn't my definition of success. It
Right.
was it was society's definition. I had the like high powered job, and I had the two kids, and I had the house and all the things. But what I desperately wanted was to get back to my creative self and actually nourish myself more and not be eating my meals in the car and and rushing back and forth and panicking, and for every minute of my day to be accounted for to someone else. And really
Oh,
that was one of the driving things for me, is like I was like, I want to be the director of my own time and my own energy, and not have made the conscious choices. I did understand that these were all my conscious choices that I had made, but in that came the power that I could make different conscious choices as well.
I love
And really,
that.
mhm,
Love that.
yeah.
Love it.
And so, like
So
this whole
yeah, tell me.
experience, yeah, it really then shaped how I chose to create my business. like I went into creating my own business from wanting to sort of bring this thing that like business gets to feel good when we consciously create it that way. And I'm a firm believer in that, like, I won't, talk the talk if I'm not walking the walk. So it really keeps me accountable. Having a business about a business feeling good, it keeps me very accountable now in my own methods of how I operate, how I do business, to make sure I'm continually like checking in and refining and aligning myself and the way I work so that my business feels good and I can confidently talk to clients about that too.
So I want to ask you, what is one tip that you
Mm,
would share with someone that's struggling with what we figured out, right? To help them get over that hump so that they understand their worth ethics.
yeah. I think the first thing I just want to mention is that I really believe that like I'm not here to convince anyone of their worth. I know you can't move your hands these days on screen. I know everyone is worthy, but I know that a lot of people struggle with that. And I did struggle with that too. But there are so many amazing experts. And I know you've had a few really good people on your show as well that specify and specialize in self-worth coaching. I focus on helping people get back into acting in alignment with their worth, for the people that
Mm.
know they're worthy but find themselves acting in a different way. And so my top tip really is notice how you feel. Our bodies are continually trying to communicate with us, and we very rarely listen, and we very rarely listen while we're working. So it's really interesting to tap in and just start like small, to start being like, am I hot? Am I cold? Do I need a sip of water? What is my body telling me? But beyond that, there's so many interesting levels. You can probably identify with this one. Are there certain names or topics that when you open your inbox and you see it in your inbox that your stomach reacts a little bit differently? Are there those things in your calendar when you see them, you're like, and your chest tightens? Or are there those
Mhm.
things in your calendar when you see them coming, you're like, yes, this is it. And you're like, all your energy comes up and your chest opens and you're like, so it might not be as dramatic as that. It might be these little things, but your body is telling you, your worth ethic is telling you which bits are in alignment and which bits maybe could do with some refinement.
Oh man, I love that. So basically, listen to your body, tap in, even the subtle little things um, you need to pay attention to, particularly when you're doing your work. They say like you go into a place and you get that little shiver.
Mhm.
That's something your body
You know.
talking to you.
Mhm.
Probably shouldn't be that place, or you probably shouldn't be there. Or like you said, you open up your email box and you're like, oh Lord, I think I need another cup of coffee. Because you see something like, I wish I could put some bourbon in the coffee just to deal with this person. But that's telling you a lot.
Mhm.
It really
Mhm.
is. And I think so many times people discount the little subtle nuances in their body, but our body is a great receptor of the energy that's out
Mhm.
there and that we're taking in. And sometimes that energy is just not good and it resonates in our body as
Mhm.
a not good feeling. So I love, love, love that. Okay, so time for one more question.
Oh.
Let's see. Here we go. What practices or rituals have you found essential in cultivating a worth ethic mindset, especially during challenging times?
I have a few, but to choose the thing that's been most supportive to me, actually, maybe I'll try and sneak into. First one is visual reminders. So I'm quite a visual person, and I find it really powerful to have little reminders to bring me back to like we talked about, like what is important to me. So I have like my screen on my phone is my core desired feelings. I don't know if you're familiar with Danielle Laporte and her work on feelings. So these are how I want to be feeling. I've already worked out how I want to be feeling. And every time I do the touch my phone, look at what time it is, answer something, I'm like, oh yeah, right, am I taking the actions that are going to create those feelings, or am I choosing something different right now? And so little visual reminders like that help me a lot. And the other game changer for me has been the concept of elevating transitions. So we can often feel like there's not enough time in our day to take care of ourselves, to nourish ourselves, to do all these things. And actually, there are, like you talked about, the ebbs and the flows. Like our day ebbs and flows in and out, different topics, different responsibilities. And in those ebbs and flows, there are these like transition moments. And when we can grab hold of them and use them to do something mindful, it can change the feeling of our entire day. So even if that's just sitting down to your chair to work and taking like 5 intentional breaths, like just slowing the transition slightly to take a little bit of that time for yourself. For me, I have a ritual of coming back after I take my kids to school and just sitting with like a 5-minute guided meditation, something, just taking 5 minutes that's just centering into myself before I rush into work. Like that, the changing the transitions, not trying to like cram it, not trying to be like, oh, I need to like work out for a whole hour, or I need to go to the spa for a whole day, like these big things. It's just like taking each transition and like turning it up and taking some of it for myself changes the feel of your whole day. So I really encourage anyone out there, like when you're transitioning, when you're changing, just see if you can take a little bit of that for you.
I love it. I love it. I'm an affirmation girl and have a book that I've written, 365 days of affirmations for a year blessed. And I do meditation and all of that, but I have a, like on your phone, right? Mine's is affirmations, and they'll pop up at certain times during the day. And it's a reminder to me that I'm affirming what I truly believe that I want and desire. And so it's very important for me to take a look, pause, take a moment, take a deep breath in, absorb that affirmation, say it. You know, people maybe think I'm crazy when I'm walking the dog and looks like I'm talking to myself. But nowadays they can't tell because you got stuff in your ears. You could be listening to music and just sing along, right? Or on the phone. But myself, am I resonating and acting like the queen that I should? And am I putting that type of energy out to the world, as well as making sure the energy within me that is in alignment with where I want to be? Okay. So tell us, how can we get more of you, Kevani? And you guys notice that she has a little slight accent. So, we're just in the United States now. We've gone beyond the borders of the United States. So, Kevani, tell us how we can get more of you.
Awesome. Thank you. And I just want to start by saying thank you so much for having me on, Rochel. This has been lovely to bring this conversation, and I'm grateful to just be able to have this chance to share what I feel is just such potent energy of worth ethic with your wonderful community. So thank you. And yeah, if you're listening, watching this conversation, and you've got that like thought going, yep, that's me, this like unwavering dedication to hard work is running me into the ground, and you know that you deserve to feel good in your business, but then like before you know it, you've like skipped lunch and bailed on your personal commitment, and you're like collapsing back into bed, like drained and frustrated, that it just doesn't feel like the vision you had when you went into business. Then yeah, if you've got those light bulbs going off, like this is your sign. This is your sign that it could be a great time to start focusing on strengthening that worth ethic within. And if you're feeling that call, I really encourage you, like, join me. I run what we call the Worth Ethic Community. It's a business membership where we come together because we all know that making changes is so much easier when you're surrounded by people that share those values and are working on those same things too. So we come together as a community and support each other in making these shifts, in evolving the way we do business. We have monthly workshops, group coaching, we do co-working time, and we're just connected. And so if any of that's calling to you, then head on over worthethiccommunity.com. I'm sure Rochel will pop that in the show notes as well, which would be great. And I would love to extend an offer, if it's okay with you, Rochel, that if anyone mentions Blissful Living for You in their registration form, I would love to offer you 20% off your membership for the lifetime that you choose to be a member, because I just really value and get so excited when people grasp hold of this concept and decide to consciously like go after feeling good in their businesses and thriving.
I love it. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that. So you guys, her information will be in the show notes for sure. This is one of the reasons why you need to subscribe to the show and share the show with everyone. This information is impactful. And as you know, you see us, we're just two girls having a conversation, but within the context of our conversation, there's nuggets of gold for you that will help you to enhance your life as you travel down your path to bliss in a more holistic, loving, yummy way. And I'm sorry, you probably can't get this information outside of our conversation. Even though it may be out there, it's not going to be the same as what we have in our dialogue today. So share the show, subscribe to the show, connect with Kevani. And again, her information will be in the show notes. And I just want to thank you, Kevani. And I know we went over a little bit, but I want to thank you because I think this information is valuable and it's very worth sharing. And the more we can get this out to women, the better we can have the beautiful essence of standing as a woman queendom that we are all commanding, right? So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to thank all of you viewers and listeners. Please share the show, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next upcoming episode of the Blissful Living podcast. I want to thank our sponsors, Blissful Living for You at Blissful Living, the number 4, the letter U, as well as All Day Cable Inc. at alldaycableinc.com. And this is the Queen of Feeling Fabulous, Rochel Marie Lawson, wishing you wellness to your mind, tranquility to your spirit, and peace to your whole body. And remember to tap into what your body's saying because it shares with you a vast amount of information, particularly when it comes to your worth ethics. Until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise, and goodbye for now.